Live.
All right, cool. We'll give everyone a couple minutes to hop in. Sorry about that, guys. We got kicked off Instagram somehow. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, but give everyone like a minute to join. Today we're talking about something a little different. Technically, like I like to talk about business and growing and leadership and all that stuff, but this is something really near and dear to me. It's something I've always believed in terms of like the law of attraction, quantum physics. And once we get a little more people in the room, we're going to jump right into it. James, how are we looking?
We're looking good.
All right, cool. So typically, I don't really talk about the law of attraction or quantum physics. I'm a big believer in working hard because I think some people get the message misconstrued. And I think like it's not just sitting on your couch and meditating and praying and magically your salon's going to get busy, your business will get better, you'll attract clients that way. But there's a big part of that needs to happen in your life, in your everyday. Manifestation and positive thinking and affirmations, I truly believe is one of the reasons why I was able to defeat obstacles in my life. And I was able to always have a clear perspective on looking at that obstacle and creating an opportunity out of it because I was very clear on who I wanted to be and where I needed to go. And I think a lot of people right now in salon ownership, whether, even if you're a stylist right now, you're lost. Like you don't know what to do. Should you post on Instagram? Should you post on TikTok? And more so than everything that you should be doing, it's really identifying who you need to become. And because a lot of people, you got a little bit of success and you got your salon, you built a little bit of a team, but you want more. You want to grow things, and you're looking at other salon owners, you're looking at other people, and not that comparison. You should ever really compare yourself to anyone, but you start comparing yourself, and you're like, why do they have what I want? How come I can't attain that? And the truth is, because the person who you are that got you to where you are now is not the same person that's going to get you to where you need to go. And so you're feeling lost because you're not clear on a couple different things. And what I want you to get clear on is who that owner is that you need to become in order to have the things that you want and to grow that salon. And it sounds really, really simple to just think about that. But seriously, have you ever sat down and wrote out the habits, the daily routine, the evening routine, the education that owner has? And I feel to make it really easy for you, we're going to draw on this board, and don't judge me. So this is you now. James, you can make fun of me if you want. Okay. And this is who you need to become.
That's the neatest I've ever seen you write.
Really? All right.
Yes.
So what I want you to do is under this particular person, create a list. Create a list of all the things that person does, how they show up, when they get up in the morning. Do they work out? What do they eat like? How do they speak to their team? What kind of money do they make? You need to get a clear picture of exactly who this person is, because this is the person that you're going to actually step into. You're going to become that person. This person is going to keep you stuck, right? This is you now. List out all your habits, list out everything you're doing now to get you, to keep you where you are now. There may be good habits too. Like just, you might be doing things awesome, but this is the $100,000 a year salon owner. This is the $1 million a year salon owner. And so they both do two different things. And so I want everyone to get a pen and paper and just take a second right now and think about, all right, how am I showing up now? What am I doing now? How am I living my life? What are the people I'm hanging out with? What are the conversations I'm having with myself? And does this person here have those same conversations, has those same friends? Do they do the same morning routine, evening routine as this person? And once you create this list, you're going to start feeling like a little anxiety, I bet. But what's going to happen is you're going to get crystal clear on who this person is. And then if you see right here, this is a gap. And you are going to fill in the gap with everything that you need to do to become this person. What you need to learn to become that person. What skills do you need to acquire? Who do you need to stop hanging out with? Who do you need to start hanging out with? What are the things that you need to start saying to yourself? And so the money that you're making here, if you have never sat down and really drafted a freedom number. For a lot of people, they have no idea what that is. And I talk about it in a couple of my videos. A freedom number for a salon owner, because this is my audience, right? The number your salon needs to make without you behind the chair. And that number needs to pay for your lifestyle, pay for your mortgage, pay for your car, pay for your kids' dance classes. That number needs to cover the rent. That number needs to cover your front desk, your assistants, without you being behind the chair. That's how you get your freedom. And so this person here has the mentality of working. Like, you are just stuck trading your time for money. And that's because you're an operator. And that's because you were an amazing hairstylist and you stepped into that role of ownership thinking, wow, I'm doing 100,000 a year, 200,000 a year behind the chair. I can easily open a salon and then teach 3 or 4 other people how to do 100 or 200,000 a year. And it's not the case. It's really difficult to duplicate yourself. So when a lot of owners start, building a team and figuring out like, wow, this is a little harder than I thought, they revert back to this person who's a killer right behind the chair. And then what happens is you just stop ever trying to become this person again and growing a team and creating that freedom that you actually wanted, which is why you opened the salon. So you need to get rid of that mentality of, the harder I work, the more I'm going to make, and only I can build this business, and only the salon's dependent on me. No, because you look at guys like Richard Branson, you look at like a Cody Sanchez, you look at a Layla Hermosi, you look at all these amazing people who have multiple companies. They're not operators in those companies. They are leaders. They are mentors. They are coaches. They coach their team. So you cannot walk into salon ownership with the mindset and being the person that is just an operator, just a hairstylist. That person got you to this level. It helped you develop the funds in order to actually open the door of your salon. It allows you to have the conversations with your assistants and your stylist on how to do a corrective color, how to do a haircut. But when it comes time to sit down and take a look at your numbers, take a look at the data, and make decisions, you need to do that from the perspective of the business owner. This is who. And there's a great book called Who, Not How. And so we're always focused on, all right, I want to make $1 million, right? 1 million. This is 100K. This is where you are now, let's say, okay? There's 2 ways I like to talk about this. It's a little messier for James. 2 ways is.
That's Nick's handwriting.
Yeah, that's more my handwriting.
It's gone downhill since the beginning. It
A
started
lot
out
of
good.
people,
Gap got pretty bad.
Yeah,
And then now we're back to Nick.
We're back to Nick. This gap right here. So you think to yourself, how do I go from 100,000 to 1 million? And that's not the question you should be asking. The question you should be asking is, who is the type of person that attracts $1 million business into their life? Who is this person? Who is the person that attracts $100,000 a year stylist into their salon? Who is the person that can create $100,000 a year stylist in their salon? Because 10 times 100,000, that's $1 million. Pretty sure that's the number. I'm pretty good at math, but obviously you got to give commissions out of there. So then now what comes next? Well, if you're doing 50-50 commission, let's say, these people need to be at 200,000. Sometimes who you need to become is only half the equation. Who do you need to bring into your life? Who do you need to put yourself around? Who can help you achieve this? Sometimes it's not all about the how. Because how, like right now, you're like, how am I going to do this? I'm only making $30,000 a year. Once you step into this person, once you fill out all the habits you need to have, once you really step into that role, you are going to get pulled into that person. When you kill this person, the you who's keeping you stuck, it's inevitable. You're going to see obstacles. You're going to create opportunities out of them. You are going to be drawn to take different actions and look at things through a different lens. And then, like, when you think about manifestation, magically, if you keep focused and you keep reading your goals and you keep reading who this person is, and every time you are going to make a decision, you have to make a decision like, is the person who has $1 million salon, what would they do? How would they make the decision? Is this the right decision for me? And then you have to ask yourself that. One of the best ways to do it is by putting yourself around people who are already there. That's hiring a mentor, hiring a coach, hiring somebody who's done it before. So then you could just bounce ideas off them. And that's the reason why community is one of the most important things for salon owners, stylists, business people. It doesn't matter what you're in. When you have a community of people who have the same mission, the same goals as you, you have people who you can just bounce ideas off of. And something magical happens. Like you can, as you're asking the question, the answer subconsciously is kind of like rising up to you. And it just, you're like, no shit. Just asking the right question alone solves 80% of the problem for you. It's the answer is right there. So you have to start really asking better questions. The better questions you can ask, it's going to help you truly create this salon that you want, this business that you want, because you're going to be asking questions from the person who needs to get to $1 million. But if you never set your goal that high, if you set your goal at 150, you don't really have to change too much of your business. You might have to just do another $50 a day in ad spend, and you're going to be right there. So get clear on what it is that you want. But no matter what you do, I promise you, this person here, this you now who's stressed, you're overwhelmed, you're stuck, you're doing 100 grand a year, you're always going to be trading your time for money because there's not enough capital in your business to buy back your time. This person, believe it or not, who's making $1 million a year, is probably working less, physically working less. And so unless you love to work, which I mean, obviously I like to work too, but
you're like a psychopath.
Yeah,
it's great, but you're not.
I really enjoy working. Like I love it's part of my DNA. I think it was brought up that way. My mindset shift though, when I did this exercise, who is this person? I said to myself, well, I looked at who I am now. This person, his mindset, right? The guy, Nick, who was, a couple years ago, I thought I had to work hard to make money. That was a belief I had. So in this whole thing that we're doing here, put in habits, put in beliefs, conversations you're having with yourself. This version of Nick, he created abundance without having to work hard. The belief of I have to trade my time for money. I have to work hard. That came from my father. Like my dad was a workhorse. He worked 2 full-time jobs. He worked every overtime shift he could. Like I barely ever saw my father, to the point where he would call the house and I would be like, who is this? He's like, it's your father. Who's that guy? Right. And I learned from him the mental toughness of hard work. The only reason I go home is because of my kids. Like I love my wife, but like the reason why I go home is so my kids can actually know me. And I don't have to do that. Right. I choose to do that because I love what I do so much. And so it's like I'm trying to get to another level. And the reason why I'm getting to that level is so I can have a substantial amount of income to truly buy back all of my time and make sure my kids are set up for forever. So I don't ever want to have to worry about, I don't want my great grandkids to ever have to worry about anything. So that's the mindset I have.
Nick goes to work all day, grinds all day, leaves to go home and hangs out with his kids. And the second those kids put their head on the pillow to go to bed, Nick is back to work.
Yeah, like it's not even like working. Like to me, work is like, cutting hair, right? You're physically working, but I'm learning stuff. So part of being an owner, right? Part of being this person here is educating yourself, is learning the skills, learning accounting, learning accrual accounting, learning cash accounting, learning the language of business. One of the issues that a lot of people run into is you're like, I need to hire a marketing team. We need to do marketing. I'm watching Nick's videos. He talks about Google ads. I don't know shit about Google ads. So what do? Who can run my Google ads? What you should do is DM me and I'll help you out. But what you do is you hire an agency and then you get this agency and then you have no idea what the language of marketing is because you never learned it. You didn't become that person you needed to become to have the conversation, an intellectual conversation around customer acquisition costs, return on ad spend, pay per click, like retargeting campaigns. You're not able to guide that person and really understand like what their strategy is for you and does it work in the salon industry. So then what happens is you get burnt, you lose money, they have no return on ad spend for you. You wind up blowing through a $5,000 or $4,000 retainer and then $4,000 or $5,000 worth of ads. You're 3 months into it, you spent 12 grand and you're like, this sucks, it doesn't work. And so you stop advertising altogether when the thing that you should have done was learn the language of advertising so you could have an intelligent conversation with them. And then you could see the data they're giving you. Same thing with your accountant. Like if you don't actually learn accounting and learn what the rules are and what you can write off and how you can like play the game that the IRS and whoever wants you to play and play it like a successful business owner, your accountant's going to screw you over, not intentionally, but they don't give a shit. Like they're just filing your taxes. They don't really do the homework. That's your job as a business owner. They work for you. So the conversations that should be happening when it comes to how this person speaks to their accountant is what needs to be true so I only pay $10,000 this year. This person goes, how much do I owe? Okay, you see how two different these people are? Your accountant works for you. Your marketing team works for you. Your team works for you. But you have to have the knowledge and the language and the education and be the person. So this person here spends an hour or two in the morning studying, learning their business craft. Like the highlight, if you open a salon, the highlights, the haircuts, you shouldn't be doing that anymore. You have that dialed in already, right? And if you don't, then you shouldn't be owning a salon right now. You should still be getting mentored by people. So when you have that conversation with your accountant, what needs to be true, so I can only have to pay $10,000 a year in taxes this year, it changes the conversation. Hey, I need you to go and do the research and take a look at my numbers and tell me what I need to do, where I should ship money to. Do I have to buy a piece of property? Based on the law, the way it's written, how do we make this happen? Because if you can't tell me, then I'm going to fire you. Right? So when clients come into you, I'll bring it to perspective for hair. Typically, they come in, show you an inspo picture. Okay? Now clients know the language of hair. They're watching TikTok. They're watching YouTube. And they're like, I like this haircut. Okay? Very rarely do they like, I need you to over-direct my hair 30 degrees, and I need you to soften it with an undercutting, whatever the hell, texturizing shear, and then like over-directed this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not doing that. They're showing you a picture. Okay? So I don't need you to become an accountant. I just need you to be able to show your accountant a picture with words of what needs to be done. So how you do that is just by learning the language and putting yourself in rooms with people who talk business, who speak business. And so as you do this exercise, and when we're done with this particular video, sit down and don't try and do this shit in the car. Like, don't just half-ass this. I want you to really become this person. How much, when they open their bank app, how much money is in there? When they wake up in the morning, what's the view they have out their window? When they get in their car, what kind of car is it? How much free time do they have with their kids? Do they coach soccer? Do they have a summer home? Do they donate to the church or the charity of their choice? Like, who is this person? What do they do? How many salons do they have? And there's no right or wrong description of this person. Like, if your dreams aren't big and bodacious and ambitious, if you just want to make enough money so you can not stress about staying home with your kids, and you could stay home with your kids while your salon operates and runs, then that's fine. Like, if you just want to make enough money so like your husband can coach football and not have to work a second job, awesome. Like, there's no right or wrong answer. One of my goals is I don't want to sit in traffic anymore. So I want to be able to have an abundant enough life where I could just buy a helicopter and then I could just fly to where I got to go locally and not have to worry about traffic. It's annoying to me. So, all right. So for this exercise, we're going to recap, wrap it up right now. Where you are now. How did you get here? What are the habits you have? What are the conversations that you have with yourself, with other people, who you're hanging out with? Who is this person, right? The good, the bad, the ugly. Who is this person that has your freedom number, your dream outcome number, your perfect salon, everything? How do they show up for their team? How do they show up for their husband, their wife, their kids? Do they work out? Like, get really detailed. Can they sit in a room with accountants and have a conversation with them? Are they able to negotiate with their landlord and cut 20% off their lease? Can they negotiate with their vendors and distributors and negotiate a deal? Do they understand the language of marketing, e-commerce? Do they walk into a room and do they command attention? Who is that person? What needs to change in your life so you can become that person? Okay. Look at who you are now. Look at who you need to become. There's going to be a gap. You're going to fill that in with skills, with with other people in your life, with better habits, better routines. And once you fill that in and you figure out, what do I need to learn to bridge this gap? Who do I need to talk to? Who do I need to hire? Who do I need to become? This number will happen. I promise you. There's no other way. It's impossible for it not to happen. It will happen. One important thing you want to do is, check my notes here, is literally, once you're done with that, you want to read it every day. You want to read who this person is, create a biography, right? Whatever makes you, like, really excites you and moves you, but create a couple bullet points, okay, about who that person is, things they do every day, and create an affirmation. And then what I want you to do is list out 3 to 5 things or actionable steps you're going to do today. The phone call you're going to make, the course you're going to buy, the book you're going to buy, something you're going to do. If it's quitting drinking, if it's signing up for the gym. One of the things that people miss when it comes to, manifestation, and when it comes to, like, the law of attraction, quantum physics, attracting the thing you want to your life, is their frequency. You need to vibrate at a certain frequency. And when you're eating like shit, when you're having negative self-talk, when you're fighting with people, when you're arguing, when you're upset with yourself, you come down on yourself because you're not where you need to be, you're never going to get there. One of the best ways to do it is working out, walking. As simple as just getting outside in nature, getting sunlight in your eyes, being around nature. I don't care if you're in the city. If there's a tree around, get around that tree. But it's really going to change your frequency. Movement truly helps you. It's like walking meditation. Your frequency is what you frequently see. So if you're constantly in a negative frequency, you're in a bad relationship, you have debt piling up everywhere, and you just keep yourself surrounded by that debt and that negative self-talk, you're never going to get out of it. I don't care how much you write this down. You have to look at it every single day and then truly believe that you're going to get there. Take massive action. So what are the actionable steps you're going to take today? Once you get a little momentum, it's going to start compounding. And then you're going to start getting one win, and then another win, and then another win, and then another win. And then all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, I'm at 200,000 a year. And then you're going to be at 400,000 a year. And then someone's going to see your success online on Instagram or look at your salon and be like, wow, I love how that owner shows up. I think I want to join their team. And then all of a sudden they join your team, and then 3 other people, because they know that person from the other salon, they join your team. And then now you are starting to see the big picture. But you can never do it if you're stuck being negative. And you can never do it if your frequency is low. So everyone vibrates at a certain level. So by working out, moving, and then looking at your goals and reciting your affirmations, it's going to magically change. But you have to take action. So like I said in the beginning, you can't just work out and magically have a $1 million business. There's some actionable steps. That frequency, though, that working out, meditation, positive self-talk, it puts you in, all of a sudden you're magnetic to positivity. People want to be around you. When you're negative and you're not moving and you're overweight and you're pissed off and you're unhealthy, you start repelling things. No one wants to be around you. So you have to control your frequency. You have to truly align with who it is you need to become. And then right now, list out who this person is, the gap, all of that, and then 3 to 5 things you could take action on today, right now, to make this person truly pull you into the future and you step into that role. All right, guys. So that is my live for today. James, we're going to let people Q&A this, but if you got questions, drop in the comment right now. But if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you click subscribe, and make sure if you're watching Instagram, you're ready to follow me. So guys, if you have any questions about how this all becomes possible in our world of the salon industry, shoot me a DM on Instagram. I got a bunch of cool PDFs I can send you. If you're struggling with time, you're struggling finding clients, or even marketing, if you're a good fit for the community that I have, I'd love to invite you to the community, but it's invite only. So shoot me a message, be like, hey, saw your live, saw your video. I'm interested in seeing, if you could help me at all. But James, any questions?
Yes, Samantha Stylist, MUA. I have a salon for a long time now. I'm trying to get traction on my brand. I have a website. I've been a stylist and makeup artist for 26 years. Well, I guess not a question, but a statement. I guess she needs some help.
Okay, repeat the question for me, or the statement.
I have a salon for a long time, and I've been trying to get traction on my brand. I have a website. I've been a stylist and makeup artist for 26 years.
Okay. That's the thing. You have a salon and you have a website, and you've been a stylist for 26 years. You've been a stylist, so who you identify with is the stylist. You're a business owner. So until you step into this role of the business owner, you're always going to be making decisions from the you now who has been a successful stylist or makeup artist for 26 years. And so one of the most important things you do is investing in yourself and investing into your business knowledge. We love spending money. Like we spend money on Vito Sassoon classes and a $500 color class, but you're afraid to invest a couple $1,000s in a business coach or a business class or something that's going to actually compound the investment to a point where you're going to be making $1 million a year. It's wild to me. Like you buy a Louis Vuitton bag, or you spend money on this car, or you spend $13 a day on Starbucks. Fast forward a couple of years, you're no better off than you are now. So investing in some kind of a business class or curriculum or community will truly benefit you. Just getting around people who are like-minded and who have the things that you want. But I could take a look at your website. I could probably tweak some things for you. On one of the next lives we do, I'll do a website audit for you. But honestly, just change your perspective. You're not a makeup artist anymore. You're a business owner. If you own a salon, you're a salon owner first. And so I think that's where a lot of people fall short. James, next question.
Beauty by Bridget. What about details for leasing salons, not commission? I don't know what that means.
Okay, so details for rental salons, right? Not commission. All right, so who is this person? Again, you're going back to this. Who wants to rent a salon from you? How do you show up for your team? Is your salon clean? How's your lease agreement? Do you support them? Like, what are the things that make you different? What's the experience like? So from a chair rental salon, which I don't really hate the model. Like I grew up in commission salons, so I love commission salons. I think the profitability for a salon owner in a commission salon is just completely outweighs a rental salon. But there are some people, it doesn't align with how much they want to work. It is more work to own a commission salon, but you make more money, a lot more money. So, but in a rental salon, you have to be the leader for your team and hold the renters accountable. And I think what would work well if I owned a rental salon is you would have to be a salon coach to a certain degree and help them with their finances, budgeting their money, making sure they're busy, and then making sure that the team itself is aligned on the core values and the culture. So every single person is at the same level and belief structure. And that's one of the best ways it can work, I feel, because everyone has to be on the same page. Like everyone has to pick up the slack for people. And honestly, I think they work better in most female salons because there's less ego in there. Barbershops always have issues because dudes have a bigger ego for the most part. And I see in the conversations in the DMs. So whenever I talk to barbers, if there's a barber watching this right now, typically they feel like they know everything, they can do it better, and there's just a lot more ego. So you want to make sure when you have a rental salon, one thing that gets checked at the door is everyone's ego. And everyone's on the same mission. Everyone should be in the same boat, rowing in the same direction to get from this side of the island to that side of the island. And then if you do that, you're going to achieve great things in a rental salon.
Mr. Get Faded basically asked the same thing. Does this only work for commission shops or booth rentals also?
No, guys, I think this is where everyone's getting mixed up here. This person, the who you need to become, works if you have a fucking ice cream shop. It doesn't matter. You could have a pet grooming place. You could be an accountant. You could be a physical trainer. You could be a physical therapist. You could have a coffee place. You could be a barista. It's all about who you need to become. That's it. That's the only thing that every single person watching this right now should be thinking about. Who is the owner in whatever kind of business? I don't care if it's a makeup artist, a lash tech, a barbershop, a coffee shop. If you sell couches at PC Richards, I don't know if they sell couches, but TVs. Are they still around anymore, PC Richards?
I don't know. Dude.
Yeah.
The one by me closed down.
It's irrelevant, right?
Closed down.
It doesn't matter. It's the who, right? Who do you need to become? That's what's going to pull you forward into that future. Every decision you make, like a lot of us, like stop living in like such a small, closed-minded version of yourself. And if you can expand your vision, and when I say like a 10x vision, it's not a Grant Cardone 10x vision. It's like literally you could 10x your vision. When you start making decisions from this person's perspective, instead of this person's perspective, life begins to change. It's guaranteed. I promise you. So next question, James.
Sparkled McKnight. How do we figure out the $1 million habits of a salon owner?
It's a great question. Is there any $1 million salon owners that you could speak to? Let's do this. Here's a great exercise for that. I love that question. So the question was, how do you figure out the $1 million habits of a salon owner? And if you don't know a $1 million salon owner, let's take a look at the failing salon owner. Let's take a look at the $50,000 a year salon owner. Do they learn how to have the conversation around money? Do they know the language of money? Do they know accounting? Do they spend like drunken sailors? Do they work out? Do they have positive self-talk or negative self-talk? Take a look. Let's say this person here is a shitty salon owner. What are all the things they do to become so shitty? Like list out all the things that ruin their business. They hire toxic team members. They don't budget their money. They overspend. The list goes on and on. Make that whole list of things they do that is really shitty that would probably not make you $1 million salon owner, and just do the opposite. So easy. It literally is that simple. Should you sleep until 12 o'clock on your day off? Or should you get up early, move a little bit, and then take a look at your numbers or learn something? Imagine if you got up a couple hours early, if you're like not a morning person, right? Went to bed at 9 and you got up early and started learning how to manage your money better. And you started taking a look at your numbers and seeing, wow, I'm paying too much for color. Oh my God, we had so much waste last month. And then you start figuring out your business side of things. You're going to get there. So sometimes it's like, not like, what are the habits I should have? What are the things I should stop doing? Do none of them. And if anything is going to pull you back to being this person, stop doing it. So take a look at all the failing businesses. Take a look at all the things they did that caused them to fail and just don't do them. That's probably the easiest way to figure out that question. James.
And I think that's all we got today.
All right, guys. So I hope this kind of was a nice little twist on things. Hopefully my handwriting wasn't too bad. But actually, I'm going to start doing more mindset type of content for you, because I feel like if you don't believe in yourself, you don't have the proper mindset, you're never going to get to the $1 million business. So guys, thanks for watching. If you're on YouTube, make sure you click subscribe. Facebook, I think you follow me already, but if you don't and somehow you got into this live, then make sure you follow me there too. Instagram. Love you guys. You're great. James, we're out.